Hello and welcome back to another episode of Knitting Out Loud. My name is Emily and this is my channel where I share about everything that I have been making. I have been somewhat of a monogamous knitter yet again this week, so I only have a little bit of knitting to share today, but then I have my April stats and a giveaway winner to announce. I just poured my third cup of coffee. I hope that you have something to drink and something to work on and are excited to chat. I have mostly been working on my cloud break tee this week, and it doesn't look like I've made a huge amount of progress, but here's where I'm at. So last episode, I think that I had just gotten through maybe an inch or two of the body. So I finished off the stockinette and now I'm in the lace portion, and I've just been struggling to pick this up a ton. There are really only 2 rows that take my full undivided attention. But like last night I was working on this and I had to rip back the same row, the lace row, 3 times. So it took me literally all evening to get 1 row done. So things are going pretty slow on this section, but there are only 4 lace repeats and I'm in the second one. So I'm hoping that I'll have this finished up before too long. I'm happy that I already have gone back and done the neckline and the ribbing for the sleeves. So once I finish this off, it's going to be done. And it's not a complicated lace pattern. I just don't do lace very often, and I'm used to knitting while I'm kind of multitasking, doing other things like watching my kids in the yard or trying to watch TV, and I just need to like go into a room by myself for 10 minutes every time I get to a lace row, and I just haven't been able to do that. Whenever I got to the end of the first round, I realized that I was 1 stitch off, so I'm not sure if I just made a mistake in the chart somewhere, but I looked it over and I think it's okay. You can see there's like the garter section, so I added a stitch between the 2 charts for the second round, and then I had 1 stitch too many, so I don't know what happened. But we'll see. It might be a little wonky, and of course my beginning round is like right in the front too, so I'm just gonna see how it goes and write it out. I don't think anything other crazy happened with this. My cat did try to sabotage my shirt. I have it in this bucket, my redesigned bucket, and it was just sitting on the ground next to me by the couch, and I didn't realize until I had a piece of wet soggy yarn in my hand that my cat, who never even really comes around, had been at my feet playing with, like, chewing through the yarn. So I was on a lace row, of course, so I got to redo that one, but there was like a saw through almost all the way through the entire strand of yarn, piece of yarn. That's the first time that's ever happened, and I hope that it's the last. I'm not very happy, but she was having a good time. I was hoping to have this project done for my birthday, but that did not happen, so that's okay. I will finish it when I finish it. I'm not in any rush. Now we have my mileage blankets. I've gone into details on this project several times before, so I'm not going to bore you with those details today, but you can always jump back to another episode and catch up on it. So I had just added my 13-mile run, which is this bright purple color, at the last episode. So I finished off April and added the transition rows in, and I have not added any of my May runs in yet. I have been doing this just as kind of a more brainless vanilla type of knitting outside, because we have been spending a lot of time outside lately with the wonderful weather. Yeah, so I have several runs that I still need to get caught up in here. I'm sure that I will do that probably this weekend. I was looking at my stats. Okay, so in April, I ran 66.5 miles across 11 runs. So that was pretty good. My big goal for the year is to run 1,000 miles, and I'm a little bit shy of that. I don't think that I've met like the monthly target any month so far this year, that's fine. It was a lofty goal, I knew that to begin with, but I am on track to run about 300 miles more than I ran last year. So that's exciting. That's probably a more realistic goal would be like, run 850 would be great. And the next year I can probably hit the 1,000 mark, but we're gonna see where I get. I might be able to make it up in some of the warmer months here. So I will keep you posted. And this is probably not even worth talking about yet, but I did cast on literally, actually, I don't even think I finished casting it on. Anything knitting wise, I found that I typically get to do it twice because I had gotten this cast on and then we were in the car and I messed something up. My stitch count wasn't right. And so I just started over. So I have literally just not even all the way cast on this pair of socks because we were in the car and I wanted to have some vanilla knitting. And then by the time I'd cast it on twice, we were where we were going. So that's as far as I've made it on that. This is going to be a fade set of socks. This yarn is from Dye Mad Yarns. It is a Hocking Hills themed sock set. I'm using a US 1 9-inch circular. Okay, that is it for the knitting. Like I said, I was pretty monogamous this week and I haven't done a ton of knitting in general. I've just kind of been having a hard time getting myself motivated to pick up the Cloudbreak tee just at the point that it's in. It's not a boring knit. Like I said, it just takes more mental energy than I feel like I have to give at this particular moment, but I also don't want to cast anything else on because I'm so close to finishing it that I just want to not add any other distractions to the mix and finish it off. Let's talk April stats. So I finished 3 objects in April. One of them is the Traveler hoodie, which I am currently wearing. And I finished my vanilla socks in the Bigfoot yarn and the baby's favorite blanket. So that's 3 finished objects. I only cast on 2 projects. What did I cast on? Oh, the Cloudbreak tee was my cast on, and baby's favorite blanket was also an April cast on. So I started and finished that blanket in April. Grams in for April was 375 grams in, and I had 1,180 grams out for the month of April. So I'm so happy with that. I think I'm moving in the right direction. And my stash tour last week really got my wheels turning for some other projects coming up. So I'm excited to get some more in the out column. There are a few things coming up that might throw a wrench in that plan, like the Puget Sound local yarn store tour is in a few weeks, and then Flock Fiber Festival will be in July this year. July, August? Sometime. I think it's like right at the end of July, beginning of August. So we shall see, no promises. Year to date, I still have a little bit of work to do. I've had 4,475 grams in and 2,697 grams out, and 13 finished objects for the year. Life updates. I was finally the mystery reader at my daughter's school. If you have been watching the other episodes, you saw that I made bookmarks for her class. I went and read for the class. I read 2 books about yarn, of course, couldn't help myself. And then I passed out the bookmarks to the class and they loved it. They were so cute and so excited. So that was really fun and worth it. I also had a birthday this week and it was just a great day. My husband and I both took off work. We played hooky for the day and we went and ran around Green Lake, which we have not done before. So I was excited to get to go somewhere new, just the 2 of us. And then we did some shopping and got lunch before the kids were out of school. And then all together we went out to dinner and had key lime pie instead of cake because key lime pie is my favorite and it was delicious. I'm still reading Patty Lyon's Knitting Bag of Tricks, and I actually used one of the suggestions for the Cloudbreak tee. The sleeves and the neckline are 1x1 rib, which just my 1x1 rib is not great. And so I used combination style where on the purl rows I wrapped the yarn the other way, and then it kind of, I say it twists the yarn, but then on the right side row, you're purling through the back loop for the purl rows. And I do think that it helped. It looked a little more consistent. It's still definitely not like professional quality looking, but it looks better than my typical. I had done one sleeve my normal way and I just wasn't loving it. So, and then I had gotten to that section in the book and thought I would give it a shot, and it actually did really help. Okay, all that's left is to announce the giveaway winner from my stash tour video last week. So thank you to everyone who commented and entered. It was a lot of fun, and you had some great suggestions for my Lamb and Kid pink Pop Rocks yarn. So I'm mulling that over and hopefully I'll have a plan for that later this year. But I just did a random picker, and the winner is Natalie Drake 33. She wanted the Pearl Soho Wool Sport yarn in Guinea Hen, which is actually the yarn that I'm wearing right now. It's the leftovers from my traveler, so I'm excited to get that out to you in the mail. Please send me an email at knittingoutloud@icloud.com with your shipping information, and I will get that your way. Okay, that's it for me today. I hope to have some new projects and a finished object to share with you next episode. So thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time.